Alright. Um, Honestly, I might split this video. This will be Androgens, Test Max, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Uh, let's begin. Alright, so first you might ask, what the fuck are androgens, right? Androgens are basically hormones, and I will be referring to them as testosterone, test, dihydrotestosterone, DHT, GH, so human growth hormone. These, there's also estrogen, but I won't really speak much about it here. I mean, I will, but not that much. But this is what androgens mean. These are the different things. And this is what I always will be referring to. Androgen, you want to dial these in. The more you dial these in, the better your gym results will be and the better your life will be overall. Okay, so what does androgens do? Um, there's a lot of things, right? Each one does a different thing. DHT is okay. Let's start with the pyramid, right? So you start with a ranking and how this whole thing works and why saying why having high testosterone isn't always doesn't always mean that you're gonna have a beard, be manly and shit, blah blah blah. So it kind of works like this. You have at the very top androgen sensitivity. Then you have DHT, and then you have your testosterone levels. The Roan, whatever. Right? What is androgen sensitivity? Alright, this is the most important thing. This, you can regulate this. There are ways to regulate this. This is the most important thing by far. And what this is how sensitive your body is to testosterone, right? Think about it as like a lock and a key. So say this is a key and this is your testosterone or your GH or your DHT. I'll get into what these other things are in a second, but just for example, these are your hormones, right? And a lock is your fucking is your receptors, right? Your androgen receptors. Having high sensitivity means that you have a shit ton of these locks, right? You can have these x a million, right? Blah blah blah. But as someone with low androgen sensitivity, they could have 10, right? 10 at once, or someone has 10 at once, someone has a million, right? A million, blah, 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 hella zeros, right? And say there's 100,000 of these keys, right? Even though they have the same amount of testosterone, this person with more keyholes will unlock more benefits than the person with 10 keyholes, right? Because he'll only get, I don't know, 10 treasure chests, while this person will be able to unlock the full benefits of the 100,000 keys by having a million treasure chests. Even though he'll have 900,000 unopened treasure chests, he'll have 900 or 99,990 more open chests than this guy. This is why your androgen sensitivity is the most important thing. There's not really much you can do about it. This is mostly genetics. This also plays a pretty big role on why Indians have beards, but like high voices and shit, and bald heads. Not really, it kind of does, but it's a lot of genetics, right? And if you can increase this, but the ways you increase this are basically the same as increasing these two. So if you're increasing these two, you're also increasing this, right? So that's why I'm not really gonna get into it. Um, DHT is more important than testosterone, especially when you're developing. When you're developing, I mean, this isn't just about muscles. If you just wanted muscles, you could fucking blast testosterone, blah, 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 but you don't want to do that. Why? First of all, because testosterone turns into estrogen, which will give you man titties. No one wants that. Converts into estrogen, blah, blah, blah. And no one really wants that. You'll get man titties. I just said that. Why is DHT above testosterone? Well, if you're developing, DHT is like DHT mugs testosterone to the fucking ground, right? DHT is way more potent than testosterone. There's people that take finasteride, like Yan, that block this, and testosterone turns into DHT, right? But he'll have more testosterone than you, but he'll have zero DHT. But he's still a bitch, right? Because he has no DHT. DHT is like testosterone x 10. You want this. If you're developing, you want this. You need this, right? But why does it cause it baldness? This is because you have low IGF-1. This comes from GH or HGH, right? Once you have high levels of HGH, you stimulate IGF-1 production, and this decreases balding if you have high DHT. So you need high GF1, high IGF-1 more than DHT, but you also want this high. This will give you all the masculine characteristics, and this will make you look buff, right? You need high DHT to look buff. Why is that? Well, for example, I will pull up pictures, not now, but Johnny was saying, or if you guys don't know Johnny, Johnny's my friend. He was wearing a hoodie, and he thought he looked like a twig in the hoodie, right? But the reason why that is because he has a bad shoulder to waist ratio, right? So these are the arms, blah, and this person, this is a shitty drawing, right? He's got a Dorito-like figure, right? He's got wide ass shoulders compared to someone that has very narrow shoulders. There is, okay, this guy has scoliosis, but this guy, even though there's no muscle on him, this is just a skeleton. This guy already looks way buffer than him. Why is that? Because he has wide shoulders, or they're called clavicles. This is the result of DHT. You will automatically look buffer than someone with high DHT. Alright? This, if you're 18, you're in luck. This does increase until I think 25. So as long as you have high DHT until 25, this muscle or this bone will keep growing until that age. After that, I think it goes down. DHT will also give you a deeper voice. It would also give you more facial hair, so beard, uh, better looking face, more manly face, just everything in general. Everything good in general, right? And as long as you have good levels of HGH naturally to stimulate IGF-1, you will not go bald like Yan. So you need high IGF-1. This is why a lot of the Vikings had a lot of hair and high and good beards. So you have Vikings, you have Indians, right? Why do they both have beards, and why do some go bald, have high voices, all that stuff, right? This is because the Vikings actually had IGF-1. How did they get IGF-1? Because they drank milk, they drank goat milk. They had all these things that increase IGF-1, while the Indians also had high DHT. So they both have high DHT, right? but one has more IGF-1 than the other. So the Indians had less. This is why they all go bald. They have narrow clavicles. Right? It's kind of. I'll pause it. I'll get my thoughts together. I'll explain it better. But in theory, if you want to know why you need a why some people go bald, it's because they have low IGF-1 here. Give me 1 second.